So this requirement earlier also, I think I told you one time. Let me again remind you. So consider Ravi is one bank manager working in City project or Citibank management contract. Under Ravi, there are like 10 employees. There are like 10 employees. All these 10 employees are working on a very secured project called GST. So now these 10 employees daily they have to log in maybe from January 1st till January 14. So 2 weeks is what they are working on this GST project. So January 1st when they are logging in, so they can carry some transactions, right? Next day also they log in, next day also they log in. But here this Ravi, the bank manager, wanted a Pega team to do here is whoever is working, whoever is logging in daily, they are supposed to change their passwords for the first time they log in for the day. So consider Rahul is one bank employee. What he'll do, he'll try to initially log in with his username and password. So system will open one credit card portal for him and he can proceed further. And in between, he can lock the screen and he can log off and log in for multiple times for his lunch break and other stuff. And whenever he's logging on January 2nd, no doubt he is supposed to enter the yesterday's password only, right? System should accept and now it has to take him to change password screen. Okay, it's change password screen. So where he is supposed to update his password and he can proceed with the same password for the whole day. In between, if we log off and again logging in also, so system should not disturb him asking for change password. He should carry the same transactions for the whole day. Next day or maybe on January 3rd, if he's trying to log in with yesterday's password, system will accept it and now it has to take to change passwords when he has to update. Every day, every operator, when they are logging in for the first time for that day, it is to be prompted with a change password screen and they are supposed to update it and then it should not disturb for the remaining time of that day. So this is what my requirement is. Okay, so for that, maybe this person might log in at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, or maybe he might be absent for the whole day. So system should show change password prompting screen at the very first time they are logging in. So this is my task is how to do this task. How to do this task. So by the way, how to get change password screen until generally how to get change password screen. So for a particular operator, so consider my own operator ID only. For a particular operator, in its security tab, if there is a checkbox marked this way, no doubt if he is now logging in again, he has to get change password screen. Am I correct? Antena? That's right, Chapali.
Yes, Chandra.
Okay, so meaning for a particular operator, if this must be true. So now consider I have 100 operators or maybe 1000 operators. So for all the 1000 operators, exactly at midnight 12 o'clock, okay, exactly at midnight 12 o'clock, I'm supposed to make this flag as true, 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 true. Okay, next day, whenever they're logging in, so system will check that this flag is true. No doubt it has to show change password screen. Whenever we click on change password, what will happen? So no doubt password will be updated and this flag will be turned to false. It will not disturb again. And again, it's midnight 12 o'clock. I have to make it manually as true. So this is what the approach you have to follow. So how to follow this until? So if you are the Pega production support guy, and if you are supposed to do this task, so can you wake up at 12 o'clock and can you open every operator instance one by one from here? Okay, so you have to open every operator instance, open the first one and then go to its settings and make its flag as true, save it and open second one, third one, fourth one. Can you do this manually? No. Okay, so at midnight, 12 o'clock, I wanted to do some bulk operation, right? So this is generally to be done by an batch processing. What do you mean by batch processing? Something kind of alarm you set in your phone. Okay, so in my Pega application, I'll be scheduling something in so and so time. It has to wake up automatically without human intervention, and it has to run some background logic. And ultimately, the background logic can be done is via activity only in this case. So I have to design an activity, no doubt in it. And this activity, for now, I'll try to test it manually. And then once it is like working fine, I have to include this activity maybe from batch processings like job scheduler or maybe generally a queue processor in this way. Now, don't much bother about like batch processing. We'll take care of activity design first. So now someone please tell me what should be the activity approach in this case. Okay, so no doubt I'll be creating an activity. I have to write some logic inside that. And this activity should not be executed from any part of PY work page, meaning it should not be called from any flow or flow action or section. It is to be executed manually for now. And then it is to be executed maybe from job scheduler in future. Okay, so now let's first create an activity. So what this activity has to do, it is supposed to update something in my operators table. You know, it is something, it is supposed to make some changes in operators table. So first of all, you tell me what is the table for operator ID ante? Very basic question, Japan Torga.
Data admin operator ID.
That's a class, right? Normally table is PR underscore operators. PR underscore operators. You know, the primary key is PY
User ID.
identifier. So will there be PZINS key applicable for this table or not? Yes or no?
No, Chandra.
No, no, yes sir.
No, for operators table,
Hmm. Is operator not a rule? Operator is
yes,
not a rule, right?
yes.
Yes. So will this not have PZINS key? Every rule must have a PZINS key, no doubt. And every data instance might not have country table this country. Inside, I'll be having a record for India or Australia or Japan. So is that a rule? And no, it's just a normal data, right? Their PZ dynasty will not be there. So if you take it as an operators table or work table or anything part of rule table, PZ dynasty should be guaranteed there. Can't you open your operator ID? Can't you click on Shift F8? Will you not get anything? You'll get it, right? So PZ dynasty is applicable for this. Okay. Now consider operator ID 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And what PZ dynasty, it will be as something data admin operator ID space 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, doesn't matter. And now the major motto here, what we have to take care is, so there must be something like this checkbox to be enabled as true at 12 o'clock. So if I see a property here, no doubt it must be in a single column there, right? Go for live UI and what is the property name? PY change password on next login. What must be its type? True, false, you know?
Yes,
Right?
Chandra.
So PY change password on next login. Okay, next login. Okay, so as of now, if this is the scenario, its value will be kept as false. For every operator, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, consider 100 operators, I think. So for every one of us, it might be as false, false, false. So today midnight exactly at 12 a.m. I wanted to change this to true, 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 true. That's it. Next day, maybe when this person is logging in, maybe at 7 o'clock or 10 o'clock, by the time this value is true. So system will be accepting the older password. Maybe once he's trying to authenticate, because of this flag as true, he has to get change password screen. And then he's supposed to update the password. So password will be changed as well as this flag will be turned to false immediately. Again, midnight 12 o'clock, I have to toggle this to true. So this is what the cycle we have to do for next 14 days as per our manager requirement. Okay. So now our overall requirement is about updating so and so record. Am I correct? Antena kada? Major requirement enti. So is it about inserting a new record? Well, please be interactive. Is it about inserting a new record? No, right?
No, Chandra.
Is it about pulling out multiple records? No. So major motto is about updating the respective record. To update a record, maybe with activity, I have an option to go with only activity as of today. Okay, because I wanted to go for batch processing anukuntunnanu kada. Okay. So if I'm trying to go for an activity to update the record, what is the method we have?
OBJ.
OBJ save.
OBJ save, right? Okay,
Yes, Chandra.
OBJ save. Is it like page structure or list structure?
Page.
OBJ save entry, page or list?
Page.
Page.
Page structure. So if I use OBJ save, it can deal with only one single page, nothing but one single record. Am I correct? Now in table, are you supposed to deal with only one or multiple?
Multiple.
Multiple.
Multiple ante. So can you go for OBJ save change to list structure ante? No.
Mm.
You can make this OBJ save looped for those many times. Am I correct? I want to go for OBJ save for updating record 1. Same logic for record 2. Same logic for record 3, maybe 4. So whatever the OBJ save logic you are writing now, it is to be looping itself. So something is what I have to look for those many pages. Nothing but page list is getting affected. Nothing but multiple records will be affected. So now OBJ save how many times I have to loop it depends upon number of records, right? So can we guarantee 100 records every time? No. Today it might be 100, tomorrow 1000, next day 5000 uncount. So when you are trying to go for looping, system will not ask you for any standard number as 10 or 12 or 30. It will ask you so and so list, meaning how many records are there? Those many pages are to be first fetched out onto clipboard. So remember, if you're trying to go for any part of looping, I wanted to save a record. I wanted to save something for multiple records. Then I wanted to delete all the records uncount, meaning OBJ delete, which is also page structure, which is to be looped. How many times a day? If you are planning to go for looping, every time you have to go for that list pulled out first. So here the very first step is OBJ browse. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
The very first step what you have to go with is OBJ browse. Okay, so don't think in one standard statement like if you are planning for OBJ save, we have to go for OBJ browse first. Don't think this as a standard statement every time. Why? Because there might be a page list already maintained by that time. So consider if this is my screen number 1. Maybe this has screen number 2. Or if you take our insurance project as the example, insurance project ఉంది కదా, insurance project లో maybe some screen 2 or 3 లో we are collecting customer nominee details. Am I correct? గుర్తుందా? Where I can click on plus and collect customer nominee 1, nominee 2, nominee 3. Out of 100 nominees, whatever I'm adding, maybe I'll select only 10 checkboxes. If I click on submit button in the next screen, I want this selected 10 records to be copied here. Getting my point? Something what we're trying to do. So here, maybe in the post processing, I might run an activity where I'm trying to copy the data into this one, maybe enter into backend table unquoted. So you are trying to go for OBJ save, and further don't go for OBJ browse. You are already having a page list maintained in our clipboard. In this approach, we are maintaining manual data. So how many times I'm clicking on plus, a page list pages will be maintained. So if I have a page list ready, it might be whatever you are constructing manually, or it might be whatever you fetch the data from somewhere. It might be a table or something from third-party applications also. So make sure whenever you are going for looping, you are supposed to use a page list, no doubt in it. Now, page list ante nothing but how many pages or how many records I have in the. So in this case, I'll be going for OBJ browse to pull the data first. So the very first step here is going for OBJ browse. Okay, and what is the class name I have to provide, Chepandi Durga?
Data admin operator.
Data admin operator ID. You have to even provide some page name, right? So consider I'm providing page name as OP list, operator list. Okay, and I have an option to mark or uncheck the checkbox. If I mark this checkbox, then what it will do, it will even pull out PZ address keys. It is getting row key. So if this is my table, so PY user identifier is something. So maybe PY change password on next login is something, and something like PZ DNS key. So first data will be maintained onto clipboard. The very first step, what it will do. So maybe if this activity is executed from a flow rule or standalone, doesn't matter. So if it is like executed standalone, what is the primary page for an activity?
Run record primary page.
Run record primary page. Okay, run record primary page. Now, activity will be running on run record primary page. You know that. Step number 1 will be running on this page. Am I correct? Step number 1 will be running on its own step page. And step page, and it doesn't mean it has to be defined only here. So the whole OBJ browse content is maintained on this page, right? So this page will be maintained separately outside your viewer page. Operator list. What is the class name?
Data admin.
Huh?
Data
Code.
admin.
Pega
Code
list.
package. Code package.
Pega list. And inside which you'll see PX results, correct?
Yes, Chandra.
PX results of 1, 2, 3, 4. And put class ND?
Data admin operator.
Data admin operator ID. So if I have 100 records, no doubt 100 pages will be maintained in this page list. Okay. Next, what I have to do with this activity, I just got the data onto clipboard. The very next step I have to take care is this page number 1. So it is pulling out operator ID, something as so and so, and py change password, something as false now, and something like pzins keys also it is pulling out. So what for all these, or there might be having with 100 columns, but we are pulling out only standard 3 for now. Why only these 3 అనేది I'll talk about. Similarly for record number 2 also, I'll see its operator ID, its password flag, and its pzins and other stuff. So here what I have to do is, for this particular page, px results of 1, nothing but maybe could not operator 1 కదా. For this page 1, I have to update the flag, and then I have to go for OBJ save. So what I can do is, I can go for properties set. I'm supposed to go for what? Property set. Property set. What you have to set? I have to set this to true. So if it is like false earlier, it is pulling as it is. Now I wanted to update the existing page with something value updated. Now if I save this, what will happen? System will run OBJ save on this single page, and it will look for what is the class, and it will hit the respective table, and inside this table it will look for primary key, and this page should have primary key, and primary key is something like 1 2 3 4, which is already available here, and it is supposed to update the record in this case. And whatever the latest properties you are having, it will be updated. PZ key, you will not change it, and this also will not be affected. Only this flag value will be done. And if we are going for property set, if you're trying to go for property set, now someone please tell me, step number activity will be running on run record primary page, right? Step number 1 then run avutundi. It is on step page, correct? And step number 2, if I'm not defining anything, where it has to run?
Run records.
Run record primary page. Are you planning to set something on run record primary page? No, right?
No.
No. I wanted to go for property set on this page. So I have to no doubt define this page name. So px results ante inka op list dot px results of 1. Am I correct? Then
Yes, Chandra.
this is not a page name. Yes. So px results of 1, inside which dot py change password on next login, I have to set it as true. Okay. Now in clipboard, this value is just modified it as true. So if value is updated in clipboard, it doesn't mean it will be updating in table also immediately. So it must be committed, right? So you have to run one SQL query, and then you have to take care of committing. So obj save. OBJ save, that is step number 3, also runs on run record primary page. I don't want to save anything run record primary page. What is the page name? Same page name I have to provide. Am I correct? Then
Yes, Chandra.
oplist.px results of 1 is what I have to provide, and don't forget to mark the checkbox as right now. Because activity is running standalone, there will not be OOTP committing. Fine. Now if I run this activity, what will happen? So it is pulling out all 100 records. Because of you hard coding the value as 1, it will try to update only first record. Will it take care of pixels of 2 or 3 or 4, 5? No, right?
No.
Meaning whatever the design you have done now, it is something static for only record number 1. What about record number 2? So I want these 2 steps for repeated for one more time. Same ikkada property set px of 2. And again obj save px of 2. And again for px of 3, again for 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. So if this is the scenario, no doubt how many pages you are providing, those many, for those many pages it will take care. Can we guarantee how many pages it will be pulling out? No. meaning this type of manual approach is not correct. So if we closely observe, these two steps are repeating for first record, same two steps repeats for second, same repeats for third, maybe fourth, maybe fifth, right? So I wanted these two steps to be looped for those many number of pages we get. So for that step number 2, we have to go for looping. System will try to take care of looping. So looping ante how many times, and how many pages we are having. So here step number 2, loop is what I have to use. And no doubt I have to define one step page here. If I'm not defining step page, system will try to loop this one. And unfortunately, this is a page. And looping will happen only for pages, it will throw an error. If you are not defining anything, it will throw an error. So I have to define a valid page list. So OP list dot px results, that's it. You should not hard code it as 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So it has to loop this page list. It might be like number of pages as 20 or 200. So inside this looping, this 2.1 will be the step number, 2.2 will be the next step number, and it will try to loop this. Now, property set will happen on first page of this. Suppose if looping starting that day. So looping will happen on first page initially. Second iteration, it will happen on second one. In third iteration, it will take care of third page. Fourth time looping, fourth page, right? So if looping is started, this will take care of the first page, right? So in that scenario, again, you need not define any step page here. Okay, so now looping started on this first one. System will understand that it has to work on oplist.px of 1. System will check what is the class name, and system will look for the properties from that class only. It will update. And even this OBJ save is inside this looping, right? Then step number 2 is also part of this px of 1. And again, you need not define it here. So mostly inside looping, you need not define pages again because context is already changed. System can easily understand that. Fine. Now step number 2 will be repeated for second page. In this context, it will be internally looking for px results of 2. I did not define. And for px result of 2, it will be updating value as true. And it will be setting it. And now for the third record, it will update 4th, 5th, 6th. So it is trying to loop the entire content and it is trying to proceed further. So got my point right, every one of you? Adamainda?
Yes, Chandra.
Okay, so if this is the scenario, no doubt I have to get operator ID and no doubt I have to get this one. Do we really require PZ dynasty? Do we require PZ dynasty or PY report to do or PY access group pulling out all these values? Is it really required? No, right? No, right? OBJ browse law, I can give only 2 columns, operator ID and change password flag. Do I require PZ dynasty fetching out? Are you changing anything there? Then effect on unda? No, right? Suppose.
No, Chandra.
Okay, no. So in that scenario, pulling out with PZ dynasty is not required every time. Then why are we given with this checkbox everywhere? So OBJ browse is given with get row key checkbox kada. By default, it will be true. So why system is encouraging us to go for PZ dynasty pulling out every time? Okay, so maybe earlier when we are working with the data instances where it is not applicable, we unchecked it. Okay, but here it is applicable. Even system is encouraging us to pull it. What is the necessity of pulling out? So this we have to understand when we are practically working on. And by the way, whatever the approach we are following it is not completely correct. Suppose if we have some part of Pega knowledge, maybe if you guys are little experienced, okay, or if you have taken training somewhere, whatever it is. If I talk about this activity design initially, you people will say first you have to go with OBJ browse, and then you people will say going for OBJ open internal. Okay, why OBJ open? Why OBJ open by handle? So that logic, okay, they know, so they know that they have to use OBJ open, but they don't know why they have to use OBJ open. So whatever the approach I told you, this should equally work, right? So if I give so and so page list as the looping part, so here, if iteration is started, looping is started, no doubt it will take care of first one. So no doubt I can see this as a valid page. No doubt I can update the content. No doubt I can go for OBJ save and other stuff, right? What for again going for OBJ open? What for again going for OBJ browse? So I'll not get answer from them. Okay, maybe in interviews, if I ask this as the question, if people are applying for some kind of experienced, so I'll ask this kind of interview question. So they'll say some approach as going with OBJ browse, then OBJ open or OBJ open by hand. They know the exact answer, but they don't know why they are following that approach. If I say this as the approach, whether to be followed or not, so they'll think and they'll say like this can be done, but this ideally cannot be done. Okay, let's work on practically. There you'll come to know why this approach, whatever the approach we are discussing, why it is not working. Okay, so this looks enough, right? But still, this will not work. So why it will not work? I'll explain in some time. For now, with this knowledge, let's start our practical approach. Clear, right, everyone of you? Everyone understood so far?
Yes, Chandra.
Yes.
Right. So let's create an activity. To create new activity. To update operator password flag. Okay, to update operator password flag. Okay, this must be enough for you to understand. Let's create a new activity. So, activity. Okay, so someone please tell me in activity in what class I have to create? I'm creating my own activity, right? So now in what class shall we create? Chapale.
Work class.
Work class. Okay, so is it to be created only in work class? So if an activity to be executed standalone, do we really require that this class to be confined to, or this activity must be confined to a particular class? Not required, right?
No.
Even create this in iterate base class also, no effect at all. Okay. Update password flag. So this is what our requirement is. So I'm trying to create it in our implementation class itself. So create and open. So let's plan to go for OBJ browse. Okay, so OBJ browse. So I have to get the data from data admin operator ID. Data admin operator ID. Okay, and you use something meaningful. Let's follow the same convention, OP list. So here I can see some checkbox by default marked out. Okay, fine. So now what columns I wanted? Dot py user identifier. No doubt I have to get this. Okay, why? Because next requirements we have to check for, we have to work with OBJ save, right? OBJ save can insert or update the data depending upon the page name and depending upon its primary key. So the respective page is not given with the primary key. OBJ save will be failed, you know that. PY user identifier, and I wanted to pull out their password flag also. Change password on next login. So pull out only flag which has like false, that is enough. That is one thing. And if this is the approach, it will pull out all the operator related data. So my database is included with different projects, different operator IDs, right? I don't want everything. I wanted to pull out operator IDs of our SCB only, meaning .py access group contains. Okay, so generally every access group contains organization name, right? For now, I'm trying to go with SCB. So we'll try to test it and check. So let's check how many operator IDs first of all it is fetching out, and based on which we have to design further off looping based on that. Let me save so far. Okay, so we should actually modify this activity after our initial understanding is done. So there again, I'll click on plus and I might go for pizza dynasty or I might go for different values also. Okay, so I'm trying to show you the first approach, which is not completely correct, but still I'm taking screenshots. So you should understand in that systematic way. That is what I wanted you to. So first, let me go for testing this. Go for actions, click on run. And again, click on run. So you can see this as success. And in clipboard, you should get the data on your defined page. And you got only 4 results. And in every result, it will show flag as false. False, you know that. Okay, so something as false. Okay, fine. Now I wanted to update it. Okay, so we wanted to update the flag for first page, right? This is my page 1. And this is my page 2, page 3, page 4. So I wanted to go for OBJ save. So directly I should not go for properties setting out, and directly I should not go for OBJ save also. So we are supposed to go for looping the process, right? So you have to click on loop. So when you're trying to click on loop, what will happen? It will look for the respective page list. And you know, this activity is running on run record primary page. Step number 1 will be running on this step page. And step number 2, also by default, it will be running on run record. Now I wanted to use a different page list name. For that, system should know, right? It has to be defined in pages and classes. Okay, so in step number 2, I have to use a page list which is outside of my primary page. I have to define the same in pages and classes. So define okay, so define pages and classes. That is, go to pages and classes. And what is the page name it is creating in clipboard? So it is creating like operator list dot px results. And what is the class name? Data admin operator ID. This is the class name. So I can define this single page, that is enough. But if you are using this page list also somewhere separately, so better you will define that also. Maybe in our current requirement, we might not require. Okay, code Pega list is what I'm trying to define now. So come back here. So loop each and every embedded page of a page list. So inside we'll be having pages, right? For a page list, I wanted to loop each and every embedded page, and every page is related to this particular class. Since you defined in pages and classes, you need not again define it here. So I can just simply click on submit button. I need not again define the class name like this. So this is optional first, but still let's proceed. Click on submit. So what is the page list name? Since you defined, click on down arrow, you should see this as your valid page list. Okay, so now what I have to do? So this particular page list local, we are having 2 steps to be executed. For this page 1, I want 2 or 3 steps. For second page also something repeated. For third page also something repeated. So if something to be looped inside this, you have to right click and add a child step. So you will not see this child step for every step. Right click on that. Are you now getting child step? No, right? So you can add childs only if you have defined looping part. Right click on this, go for add child. So now you can see something like 2.1. So what you are supposed to do now? I wanted to go for updating the property value, property set, where for the respective property like py change password on next login, right? So generally, if I click on down arrow, I'll be getting properties from the class where this step is running on. So here, since we are doing inside an page list, so this looping part will be working on page 1 there, page 2, page 3, nothing but data admin operator ID, we will not define it again. So dot py change password on next login. What I have to do, I have to make this as true. That's it. Okay, following right, every one of you?
Yes, Chandra.
Okay, so now flag will be updated as true. Next, what I have to do, I am supposed to save it. OBJ save the respective page name and not again specifically define the page name. So simply mark this, that is enough. Now let me save it. Okay, let's save it. Now if I'm trying to run this, what should happen? So no doubt I should get, okay, no doubt I should get all the list of records initial. Then we have to loop every record and then we have to update the first page data and then save it. Similarly, second page data updating and save, third, fourth, fifth. So go for actions, click on run, again click on run. You are seeing some error. Somewhere it is going wrong. I have to trace it and cross check. Okay, let me first check for the same in clipboard. So if I open clipboard, operator data, where is the page? You can see this. And here, inside this first page, I should see its flag value is updating as true. So this is working fine for me. So for second one, it is updating as true. For third one, it is updating as true. For fourth one also. So clipboard, I am not seeing any issue. So meaning 2.1 is about property setting, it is fine. Maybe I cannot see whether it is saved into my table or not in clipboard, right? So I can see activity somewhere failure. So it must not be at step 1 or 2.1. It must be somewhere at step 2. I have to trace it and cross check. So go for again, open the tracer and now again run this. Again run this. So you can observe some warning here. Okay, and what is happening? So OBJ browse, that is step 1 is success. Step number 2.1. So I can see 2.1 and 2.2 repeating for 4 times. Because of 4 pages it is fetching out. So property set on PX results of 1. It is good. It is setting out a property value. Open this and you can see it is properly setting out. Okay, and step number 2, that is like OBJ save is failed. Whatever the page available in clipboard, whatever the page available in clipboard, so that is updated, but that value is not being posted to a database table. OBJ save is failed. Open this. What is it saying? So cannot save a page with the instance of data, cannot save this particular page because it is read only. Okay, so what are you understanding when you are trying to go for an OBJ browse? Okay, so I'm talking about OBJ browse. When you're trying to go for an OBJ browse, it is pulling out a page list. You can see this, right? It is pulling out a page list and every page here is internally kept it as read only, meaning no modifications are allowed for this PX results. What you are trying to do, so you are just trying to update it. Okay, and it is updating successfully only till clipboard level, not into database. Here SQL query is throwing an error saying like this PX. You know what is PX, right? So you know what is PX? Something with read allowed, writing not allowed, right? So here this PX related modifications are not entertained. That is what system is blocking us. Okay, now what is the fix I have to? As I told you yesterday, to check for one small experiment, that is, you have to create a data transform and there go for property setting of PX application name updated, PX create data name updated, something PX properties I asked you to update and cross check. So you told, or we concluded as this can be updated. Then what is the specialty of PX and we understood yesterday. Meaning PX related things can be updated, but it is not to be done, but it can be updated. So for this, what I can do is I have got 2 options in Pega. That is OBJ browse whenever it is fetching out the data. So it is marked with a checkbox called use lightweight. So if this is like made true, then lightweight and dainty. So something like not extra clumsy and other things, right? Meaning no extra modifications are also to be entertained. So if this is made true, whatever the page list getting constructed now, it will be made read only. Okay, so in clipboard you cannot, or maybe to database table, you cannot proceed further in updating that page name. So here, if I can uncheck this checkbox, my matter is resolved. Okay, my problem is solved. That's it. So I'm trying to make this as like editable. So you can just mouse over and check for the result also. Check this to retrieve read-only results. Now, if I uncheck this and if I save it, so my task is complete. But it is not at all encouraged to uncheck this checkbox. Uncheck this checkbox. What I have to do? No doubt I have to mark this. You try this by unchecking. So what is the next best approach? What I have to do is, whatever the page I got now, I'm supposed to be creating it as my own new page. So this is a page what system has created, right? And it is made read only. So you are not supposed to modify that. But if the same thing, if I'm trying to copy onto this one, if I create my own temporary page, and if I'm trying to get the data moved into this one, this being my own page, whatever I created, so it must be also referring to the same class like data admin operator ID. And if it is having py user identifier as 1, 2, 3, 4, now if I save my own page, then it will be updated, right? There is no read only for that. So system will look for what is the class name, no doubt what is the table. And it is trying to deal with a single page of this table. And it must have a primary key like 1, 2, 3, 4. And if it is already available, it will try to update the record. So meaning approach 1 is to make PX results as editable. Second approach is to create your own page, which will be by default editable. And then you can copy the data from there to here and you can modify from here. So here, step number 1, 2.1, 2.2. So extra what you can do is you can add one more step called page new. Something like temp page. Now I have to define that temp page as data admin operator ID class. So now what I can do is I can go for page copy. Okay, I can go for page copy. Since I'm trying to go for looping, it will deal with first page. Instead of you directly updating on the first page, I can able to copy this page one information onto this one. So you can go for page copy. So where you have to go for temp as the target and source, you can keep it as empty, or you can give it as operator list.px results of current. You should not give it as 1 or 2 or 3. It will not work properly in looping, right? So you have to define it as current, meaning the current indexed page will be copied to your temp page, and both are referencing the same class, right? You can go for page copy. And here you can go for property set onto this temp page and OBJ save. So even this should work. So in my whole approach 1 or approach 2, did I use OBJ open now? No, right? Am I using OBJ open by handle? No, right? But people who are already having little Pega knowledge on this requirement, they will think about OBJ open or open by handle. Why? This I'll explain in tomorrow's session. Okay, so today we are just understanding working with something like looping part, more of looping part, and what extra approach we have to follow in fulfilling this requirement. We'll take it in tomorrow's session. Clear, right, everyone? Any doubts or any questions for this session? Clear?
Yes, Chandra.